All right, so today we are going to take a deep dive into something that I think a lot of you have been curious about.
Yeah.
ASKT chairs.
Mm-hmm.
You hear all this buzz about them, how they're built to last. You see these crazy testing videos they put out.
Right.
But what's the story like behind those chairs? Like what really makes them so different from just any other chair you can buy out there?
Well,
That's what we're going to unpack today.
it seems like everyone's getting kind of tired of, buying furniture that falls apart after a year or two. And
Hmm.
ISKT is really tapping into that,
Yeah,
desire for something that's actually built to last.
yeah, for sure.
And what's fascinating to me is that they really approach quality in a way that you don't see a lot of other companies doing, especially in furniture.
Yeah, that's so true. It's
Yeah.
easy to say like, oh yeah, we have a quality product, but like, how do
Exactly.
they actually back that up?
Yeah.
And I guess like a good place to start is with like the materials.
Hmm.
Like it's not just about, slapping any old wood and fabric together.
Oh, definitely not.
Right.
And for example, let's talk about the wood they use.
Okay.
Not only do they insist on using FSC certified wood, which means it comes from responsibly managed forests,
Okay.
but they go way beyond that. They
Hmm.
do all these moisture tests to prevent warping later on, and they even inspect the grain pattern on every single piece of wood.
Wait, they reject a shipment of wood if the grain's not right?
Oh, yeah,
That seems pretty intense.
it is.
Like I feel like most people would just be like, whatever, slap some stain on it and call it a day.
Yeah, maybe some companies would, but ASKT is playing a different game.
Right.
It's about understanding that even things you can't immediately see have a huge impact on how long that chair is going to last.
Mm.
So, like, that seemingly perfect grain that they're looking for
Yeah.
actually helps prevent cracks and weaknesses down the line.
So you're telling me like even the wood has a backstory.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Ah.
Okay. So what about the fabrics then? Like what
Yeah.
makes their fabric special?
Well, for starters, think about how much wear and tear a chair goes through,
Yeah.
especially the fabric.
Yeah, for sure.
So they use something called the Martindale abrasion test,
Right.
which basically simulates like years of rubbing and wear to make sure that the fabric stays strong and doesn't like pill up.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah,
It's like a fast forward button on wear and tear.
exactly.
But wouldn't that make it like rough or uncomfortable though?
That's the cool part.
The
They don't
game.
just focus on durability, they're also obsessed with finding fabrics that are soft and breathable.
Okay.
So it's really like finding that perfect balance between, tough and comfy.
Makes sense. What about like the insides?
Yeah.
The cushioning and all that stuff.
Right.
I've definitely sat on chairs where you can feel the frame like digging into you after a while, and it's not a
Right.
good feeling.
The unsung heroes of a comfortable chair, the sponges.
Okay.
So ASKT uses high-density foam,
Mm.
which is basically a really durable, supportive type of foam. But they engineer it so that it bounces back quickly after you get up.
Okay.
So no more sinking into a saggy mess.
So these chairs are designed to like fight back against the forces of gravity.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And they even thought about the stuff that you don't usually see, like the iron and metal components of the frame.
Okay.
Those are powder coated, which means they have this really durable, chip-resistant finish.
Okay.
And they're designed to be extra strong. It's almost like they're overbuilt on purpose.
So even if you like accidentally, drop something heavy on it or I
Right.
don't know, maybe use it as a step stool in a pinch.
Let's not encourage that.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. But
But you're right. The point is they're built to withstand the unexpected.
okay.
They even use things like honeycomb paper in their packaging,
Okay.
which is more sustainable and provides better protection than plastic.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking super strong wood, almost indestructible fabric, a frame that can probably withstand a small earthquake. So what happens like once they have all these incredible materials? Do they just like hand them over to some guy with a hammer and hope for the best?
Definitely not. This is where their production process gets really interesting.
Okay.
Imagine like a mix of cutting-edge technology and skilled artisans all working together.
Ooh, that's a combo I haven't heard before.
So think like lasers and robots ensuring that each chair frame is perfectly aligned and structurally sound.
Okay.
It's precision engineering on a whole other level.
I'm intrigued. I got to know more.
Yeah.
Where do the artisans fit into all this high-tech wizardry?
So while the robots are handling like the big structural stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the artisans come in for the details and the finer points.
Okay.
So they're handcrafting elements of the chair, adding those little touches that make it really special.
Wow.
And get this, their work is tested just as rigorously as the machine-made parts.
Oh, wow. So they're not just like slapping things together. They're testing every step of the way.
Yeah.
No wonder these chairs are supposed to last forever.
Yeah. Exactly. It's this constant checking and rechecking that really sets them apart.
Right.
Every single stage of the process, someone is making sure it's up to ASKT's crazy high standards.
It's like they're saying, look, we are obsessed with quality,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to prove it every step of the way.
And speaking of proof, are you ready to talk about the testing?
Oh, boy.
Because this is where things get really wild.
Okay, wild might be an understatement.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the videos they put out of like their testing process, and it's pretty
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, it's intense.
Like they really push these chairs to their limits.
Oh, absolutely. We're not talking about just like meeting some basic industry standard here.
Right.
ASKT seems determined to prove that these chairs can survive practically anything.
Okay, so let's dive into some of these tests then.
Yeah.
So we've got color fastness, we've got armrest strength.
Right.
What else? What other like crazy things are they doing to these poor chairs?
Well, for starters, they do something called a lateral static load test. So imagine like pushing the chair sideways with a ton of force.
Yeah.
That's what this test simulates.
Okay.
It's all about ensuring that the chair won't just buckle under pressure,
Right.
especially if, say, someone leans back a little too enthusiastically.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that would be important.
Yeah.
What about those impact tests I saw?
Oh, yeah.
The ones where they're like dropping weights onto the seats?
Those are always impressive to watch.
Yeah.
They literally simulate someone like clopping down with a lot of force or even dropping something heavy onto the chair.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring that the frame and the seat itself can withstand those sudden impacts without breaking or becoming unstable.
So no more cracked chair legs
Exactly.
or wobbly seats after a few months.
That's the goal.
Okay, that's a win in my book.
And then there are the tests that are specific to certain chair types.
Okay.
So, for example, if the chair has a swivel mechanism,
Right.
they'll spin it thousands of times
No.
to ensure that the mechanism can handle constant use without breaking down.
So it's like they're trying to recreate every possible way that a chair could get worn out
Pretty much.
or broken, and then just make sure that their chairs can withstand it.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing.
And remember those quality inspection professionals we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
They're not just watching the production process. They're meticulously documenting all of this testing
Oh,
through video recordings.
that's a level of transparency I have not seen before.
It's pretty unique.
Like most companies would just tell you, oh yeah, we do testing, but like
Right.
ASKT is actually showing you the proof.
Mm.
It's almost like they're saying, here, look how much we care about making sure these chairs are the best they can be.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
This dedication to quality combined with the sustainable materials and the rigorous testing, it really makes you think differently about the furniture you choose.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about buying a chair. It's about investing in something that's well made,
Yeah.
durable,
Mhm.
and has a minimal impact on the environment.
Right.
It makes you wonder why everything isn't made this way.
It's a good question to ask, and maybe by supporting companies like ASKT,
Yeah.
we can encourage other companies to step up their game as well.
So by choosing an ASKT chair, you're not just getting a great piece of furniture.
Yeah.
You're sort of casting a vote for quality and sustainability. You're saying, hey, I value these things and I'm willing to support companies that prioritize them.
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices that reflect your values.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's go back to the chair itself for a minute.
Okay.
What does all this mean for the person who actually buys an ASKT chair?
Right.
What can they expect?
Well, for starters, I think they can expect to have that chair for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
No more wobbling legs,
Wow.
saggy seats, ripped fabric after a year or two.
Right. Imagine not having to replace your furniture every few years.
Yeah,
That's not only good for your wallet,
right.
it's good for the planet, too.
For sure.
Less waste, fewer resources consumed.
It's like ASKT is challenging that whole fast furniture mentality.
Yeah,
That's become so prevalent. You know,
it's true.
they're saying slow down, invest in quality,
Mm.
and enjoy your furniture for years to come.
And that shift in perspective is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
It makes you think about all the other things we buy and use every day.
Yeah.
What if we applied that same buy it for life mentality to everything?
Ooh, now that's a question worth pondering.
It is.
What would the world look like if we all prioritized quality and longevity over cheap disposable goods.
Right.
Something to think about.
It certainly is. And perhaps companies like ASKT are leading the way,
Yeah.
showing us that it's possible to create beautiful, durable things without sacrificing quality or ethics.
So to wrap up our deep dive into the world of ASKT chairs,
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is pretty clear.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with quality, they're transparent about their process, and they're committed to sustainability.
And that's reflected in every single chair they produce. It's a chair you can feel good about owning, knowing that it's built to last and made with care.
All right, before we sign off, I want to make sure you know where to find ASKT and check out their chairs for yourself.
Yeah.
Their website is super easy to remember. It's www.asktfurniture.net.
And they're all over social media, too.
Oh, yeah.
You can find them on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok and YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking out their videos on those platforms.
Yeah.
It's one thing to hear about their testing process,
Right?
but it's a whole other experience to actually see it in action.
For sure.
Like those chairs get put through the ringer.
Definitely worth a watch if you want to see quality in action. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to them directly at sales@sinoaskt.com or even message them on WhatsApp.
Oh, wow. So they're pretty accessible.
Yeah, they seem to be.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dives into the world of ASKT chairs.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
And hopefully it's given you a new appreciation for the craftsmanship and dedication that goes into creating a truly exceptional chair.
And maybe even inspired you to think a little differently about the objects you choose to surround yourself with.
Remember that question we posed earlier?
Yeah.
What if everything was made with this much care?
It's a question worth asking, a question worth pondering.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe it's a question that ASKT is helping to answer one chair at a time.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking out the stories behind the things that matter.
Wow. It has been really eye-opening to kind of peek behind the curtain at ASKT,
Yeah,
and see what really goes into making one of their chairs.
it's a process.
It really is. It's easy to take a chair for granted, but I don't think I'm ever going to look at a chair the same way again after this.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
I think that's the magic of these deep dives, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get to uncover those hidden stories behind everyday objects and gain this whole new appreciation.
Right. For all the thought and craftsmanship that goes into them.
Absolutely. And I got to say, like, ASKT has set a pretty high bar.
Yeah.
Their commitment to quality, sustainability, transparency, it's really impressive.
It's a reminder that we really have a choice,
Yeah.
We can choose to support companies that are prioritizing these values.
Right.
Companies that are actually trying to make a difference, even if it's one chair at a time.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. And on that note, we will leave you to ponder that thought.
No.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of ASKT chairs.
It's been a pleasure.
It really has. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking out the stories behind the things that matter.